When I first landed in Baltimore, Washington Airport, I met Nader. As you could just saw, he's a pretty big guy, and he's got a loud voice and a pretty fierce glare. And as soon as we started talking, Nader's first question to me was, "Are you a religious Zionist?" And obviously this question kind of caught me off guard. I was after a long flight, and I wasn't sure what to say. I simply responded that that's not really the way I am, and through conversation, we're probably going to get to know each other a little bit better. So as you just saw, my first interaction with NSL was deeply political. And I kind of was starting to imagine a summer of arguments, not really a summer of fun. But now, I wasn't really totally wrong, because we do argue a lot, but at the same time, we're really good friends. And the experience at NSL has taught me quite a bit. And the NSL kind of let me do something that is very rare, and that is to work with people who are bright, they're young, and they're active, both Israelis and Palestinians. And I feel like my perspective has been widened, and I've been exposed to new narratives that weren't familiar to me at all before. And it seems like it's impossible, especially for us Israelis and Palestinians, to escape politics and beliefs. But at the same time, we value our friendship very much, and we don't let that come between us or divide us. So argument on the metro about settlements and land swaps usually turn into someone asking, "So who's coming for drinks in DuPont after?" And although this might seem futile to some of you, it's something that I think is very special. And it's special because it allows us into each other's stories. And we've created a safe place for ourselves so we can share stories and narratives without being afraid of something that might happen to us afterwards because we've exposed ourselves. So at the present time, this sort of space does not exist, not in Israel and not in the Palestinian Authority. And this is something that I think should change. So for my work exposure, I was assigned to work at the Washington Report on Middle East affairs with other inspiring journalists like myself, and they instantly became my friends. And I'm really happy to see them in the audience. I enjoyed my time there very much, and it really forced me to open up my mind to new ideas, as this did not really align with my ideological perspectives. And I really think that change cannot happen when you're in your comfort zone. So I was placed in this environment that wasn't really familiar or comfortable, but I think I managed pretty well. And I feel that if you're in your comfort zone, real learning doesn't really happen. And NSL doesn't really put you in a really comfort zone, like, for most of the time. So we've been challenged all summer long. And it starts from endless hours that we spend together. And we're discussing issues that we don't really normally deal with. And our time together and these hours of conversation have really broken barriers for us. And they've led us to stop viewing each other through the lens of nationalism. And we simply started seeing each other as people, as human beings, and as young people who aspire for peace and to live well. And that's where the greatness of close interaction and collaboration lies, in my opinion. And the events of the past 7 weeks have really made the danger of separation much more obvious to me. Because I feel that when we're living in isolation from one another, the solution to our conflict cannot really come from the people, and not even from our leaders. So, how would I sum up my experience in DC this summer? I think it was fun, it was very inspirational, and most importantly, I felt it really changed me, and I could say it was life-changing in many ways. Collaborating, for example, with the PLO mission for my Project for Change was something that not many Israelis think is even possible, and something that didn't even cross my mind before I joined NSL. And my Project for Change is about creating the first after-school program in Bethlehem in the West Bank, targeting underprivileged youth from refugee camps. And my colleague Sharuk will tell you a little bit more about that. So the experience that we've had, the valuable work exposure at the Washington Report, challenging conversations, meeting Congressman Keith Ellison for a briefing, going to the Supreme Court to hear a historical ruling being placed, attending a seminar at the U.S. Institute of Peace, and receiving the breaking news about the renewal of peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. All of these experiences combined really informed and shaped my personal journey this summer. And it's been a dive into my identity and a dive into the core beliefs and opinions that I've had and into the politics that I grew up into. So, why are we here again? Well, it's because we want something more. And we want an experience that goes beyond rhetoric, an experience that translates into action, an experience in which the importance of sleep and rest are really put aside in favor of taking in as many experiences that can only happen in this city. An experience where we're letting decision makers know what changes that we, the young generation, would like to see happening in the Middle East, and where we're creating our project for change in DC that is the center of global power. So my first interaction with a Palestinian, as I just told you from the program, was a type of interrogation. But the last interaction with a Palestinian this summer is going to be one of emotion and compassion, because we have all become really good friends, cousins for that matter, a type of family. And we're all on a joint mission to bring the word back home and to tell our friends and our families so they too will get to know the humanity of the other side. Thank you.